Have you ever looked at your hand and felt it was hiding something? Not just lines of skin and flesh, but a map, a code, a seal placed by something greater. Most see only ordinary marks, but a rare few feel a signal, a whisper saying, "You are chosen." Here's the truth. Only 144,000 carry this hidden mark. It isn't luck or superstition. It's destiny imprinted in your very being. In this video, we'll uncover 7 powerful signs written in your hands. And the final one, it's the sign most chosen ones miss, yet it can transform everything about your calling. But first, if your spirit feels a pull right now, if something in you says this message is different, then like this video, subscribe, and write 144 in the comments. That number is more than digits. It's the vibration of the sealed, a declaration that you're part of this. And remember, you didn't find this by accident. Your being here is a sign itself. Stay with me, because as each sign unfolds, they build toward the last revelation, the one that speaks not just to your present life, but to your eternal destiny. So, let's begin. Number 1, the line of isolation. For many chosen ones, this is the very first sign they carry, even before they understand it. It's that invisible sense of always being different, of standing in a crowded room, surrounded by voices, yet feeling unseen. If you've ever wondered why friendships felt temporary, or why people called you too quiet, too sensitive, or too strange, it wasn't random. It was the mark. Picture yourself on the edge of a vast cliff. Across the gap, a city full of lights and noise. But here you stand apart, watching, observing, yet never fully part of it. That's the line of isolation. It separates not to punish you, but to preserve you. Spiritually, this is the mark of separation. From the beginning, heaven drew a boundary around you. Gold is never stored with ordinary stones. It is set aside, hidden until the right time. And that's what has been happening in your life. Isolation is not loneliness, it is calling. Moses in the desert, Joseph rejected by his brothers, even Jesus misunderstood by those closest to him. Every destiny was shaped in silence before it was revealed in power. So how do you respond when you carry this mark? Stop resisting it. For years you may have tried to erase what made you different, but it's part of you. Instead of fighting it, lean in. Use the quiet to listen. Use the separation to grow strong. Because isolation is not the absence of connection. It is the presence of preparation. And here's the deeper truth. The enemy often attacks hardest here. If he convinces you that isolation means rejection, you'll abandon your purpose. But when you see it as protection, everything changes. You stop asking, why am I alone? And start asking, what am I being trained for? Think of a young eagle. It learns to soar alone, and at first it feels cruel. But one day that eagle rises above the storm while other birds scatter in fear. That's the gift of isolation. It trains you for storms others cannot endure. And maybe you've felt this all your life. If so, hear this. You are not forgotten. You are hidden. And that distance that once made you cry also saved you. From the wrong people, wrong places, wrong paths. It wasn't rejection, it was divine protection. Number 2, the hidden shield. If the first mark sets you apart, this one protects you while you walk alone. It's not always visible in the moment. Often you only recognize it when you look back. Maybe you avoided an accident by seconds. Maybe a gut feeling stopped you from stepping into danger. Or maybe a closed door later revealed itself as the very thing that saved you. That is the hidden shield. Picture walking through a battlefield. Arrows fly, chaos surrounds you, yet somehow you keep moving untouched. You may not see the shield, but it is there, covering, guarding, pushing back what was meant to harm you. Spiritually, this is more than luck, it's divine protection. The chosen are not only sealed, they are covered. It doesn't mean life will be painless, but it does mean what was meant to destroy you will never succeed. Think about it. The enemy often recognizes your identity before you do. That's why many chosen ones face battles even as children. Through rejection, trauma, or near-death experiences, and yet you are still here, still breathing, still searching. That alone is proof the shield has always been with you. Imagine walking through fire. The heat is real. The smoke suffocates, yet you come out without a single scar. People ask, how are you still standing? That's the hidden shield. Practically, this means learning to trust what has already carried you. When fear rises, remember the nights you thought you wouldn't make it but did. Remember the closed doors that later protected you from pain. Those weren't coincidences. They were the shield in action. And here's the deeper truth. The shield doesn't only protect your life, it protects your purpose. Delays, detours, even frustrations often serve as redirection. What looked like rejection was actually preservation, because the shield saw what you didn't. And this leads to the next mark. Because protection alone isn't enough, you also need direction. Hidden in your hand is not only the shield, but the roadmap of destiny. That's the third sign. Number 3, the path line. If isolation set you apart and the shield protected you, this mark reveals direction. Look closely at your hand. Its lines rarely run straight. They twist, curve, and intersect, reminding you that destiny is not a highway, but a winding path. Think about your own life. How many times did things turn out differently than you planned? Maybe you thought you'd be further ahead by now. Maybe heartbreak or loss forced you to start over. Yet when you look back, every detour somehow brought you right here. The path line tells chosen ones, your journey will never look like the world's journey. Others climb ladders step by step in predictable order, but heaven trains its messengers on crooked trails where every step demands faith. Picture walking through a dense forest. The trail bends left, then right. You can't see far ahead, yet the path is always there. At times it feels confusing, even unfair. But the chosen are never walking at random. Their steps are written. Even what looked like failure had purpose. A lost job that led you into something greater. A heartbreak that birthed compassion. A forced restart that gave you wisdom others don't have. That's the path line shaping you. Here's the practical side. When you embrace this mark, you stop comparing your life to others. Their straight lines are not your story. Your curves, pauses, and delays are part of the design. What seemed like rejection was really preparation. Think of a tapestry. From the back it looks tangled, threads knotted in every direction. But from the front, it's a masterpiece. Your life may look messy now, but heaven sees the finished design. So if you've ever asked, why can't my life just be normal? The answer is simple, because your path is different. The chosen aren't called to easy roads. They are called to trails that test and transform them. How do you walk this path? One step at a time. Even when the road feels dark, trust that the one who wrote it already knows the ending. And remind yourself daily, my path is not broken, it is unfolding. Now here's where it gets deeper. If the path line reveals destiny, the next mark reveals power. Because it's one thing to know your path, but another to carry the fire that sustains you on it. Number 4, the flame mark. If the path line shows where to walk, this mark shows what burns inside you while you walk it. It's the inner fire, the spark chosen ones carry even before they understand it. Look at your hand for a moment. Imagine that beneath the skin there is a glowing ember waiting to ignite. That's the flame mark. It doesn't always announce itself with drama. Sometimes it's just a quiet pull, a strange sensitivity, a gift others dismiss but you cannot ignore. Maybe you knew something before it happened, felt someone's pain without a word spoken, prayed and saw results no one could explain, or carried creative visions that felt larger than you. That is the flame flickering, waiting to be awakened. Spiritually, the flame mark represents dormant gifts. Chosen ones are not ordinary. They carry abilities placed in them before birth. But fire doesn't always come fully lit. Sometimes it starts as smoke, as a spark. Only when you feed and protect it does it grow into a flame. Think of Moses. He didn't begin as a mighty leader. He doubted his own voice. But hidden in him was the fire of deliverance. When it finally ignited, nations shifted. Maybe you feel your flame is small, but even a small fire can burn down a forest. Your gift may seem weak, but when the right wind blows, it will roar to life. Here's the practical side. Stop comparing your flame to others. Some shine on stages. Others carry quiet fire through wisdom, healing presence, or prophetic dreams. Both are powerful. Both change the world. Guard your flame. Flames are vulnerable to doubt, criticism, and neglect. Many times when you tried to share your gift, someone mocked or dismissed you. That was an attempt to smother your fire before it spread. But fire doesn't ask permission to burn. It only asks for fuel. Feed it with faith, courage, and practice, and it will consume every limitation placed on you. Picture yourself in a dark cave holding a torch. The light doesn't reveal the whole journey, but it shows enough to take the next step. That is your flame. And here's the deeper truth. The flame mark isn't just about power, it's about responsibility. Fire can warm, but it can also destroy. Uncontrolled, it can harm those it was meant to help. But focused, it transforms everything. So how do you apply this today? Identify your sparks. Notice what stirs your spirit, what others seek you out for. Practice it, honor it. Because every time you use your gift, the flame grows stronger. And maybe you've asked, why do I feel something inside me waiting to come alive? That's not imagination. That's the flame mark. It means you are not just walking a path. You are carrying fire to transform it. Now here's the mystery. Because fire alone isn't enough, you also need direction, insight into where to release it. And hidden in your hands is not just fire, but prophecy. That is the next sign. Number 5, the prophetic sign. If the flame mark is about power, this one is about vision. It's the ability to glimpse what others cannot see, to sense what is coming before it arrives. Look at your hand again. Notice how the lines shift over time. They grow, fade, and change direction. Your hand is like a book writing new chapters. And for the chosen, these changes are not random, they are prophetic. Have you ever had a dream that later came true? Felt déjà vu so strong it unsettled you? Or carried a deep knowing about people or seasons in your life? This is not coincidence. It's the prophetic sign awakening. Spiritually, this mark is evidence that heaven whispers to you in ways others dismiss. For the chosen eyes, prophecy is not always loud. Sometimes it's a gentle nudge, a vision, or a dream that repeats until you pay attention. Picture walking down a dark road with a lantern. You don't see the entire way, but every now and then the light flares brighter, showing the next step. That's the prophetic gift. It rarely gives the whole picture, but it gives enough to prepare you. Here's the challenge. Many chosen ones ignore this sign. Why? Because the world mocks what cannot be measured. Maybe you shared a dream and people laughed. Maybe they told you it was only imagination. So you learned to stay quiet. But prophecy isn't meant to be buried. It's meant to be stewarded. Practically, when you sense prophetic glimpses through dreams, visions, or impressions, record them. Keep a journal. Write the symbols and emotions, because many times prophecy makes sense only in hindsight. And remember, prophecy isn't only about predicting disasters. Sometimes it's guidance for small choices. What door to walk through, which conversation to have, which connection to release. It's not entertainment, it's alignment. Picture a sailor lost at sea. The clouds part for a moment and reveal a constellation pointing him home. That brief glimpse is enough to keep him on course. That's how prophecy works. And maybe you've asked, why me? Why do I feel things before they happen? Because you are sealed. Because heaven trusts you with glimpses others are not ready to see. And the weight you feel isn't a burden, it's a gift. Here's the deeper truth. Prophecy is not only about events, it's about identity. Every dream, every vision is a mirror showing you who you truly are. That's why the enemy attacks this gift so fiercely. If he can make you doubt your glimpses, he can make you doubt your destiny. So what do you do with this mark? You stop dismissing your inner visions. You stop silencing your dreams. Instead, you ask for discernment and clarity and watch as the pieces begin to align. Now here's the loop. If prophecy gives you glimpses of the unseen, the next sign takes you deeper. Because it's one thing to see another world, and another to feel it pressing into your reality. That is the mark of the veil. Number 6. The veil between worlds. Have you ever felt something brush past you when no one was there? Or woken in the night sensing eyes on you? Maybe you step into a room and instantly feel peace or heaviness before anyone speaks. That is the veil between worlds. For the chosen, the line between the physical and the spiritual is thinner. Others live as if the material world is all there is, but you've always sensed more. You feel what cannot be seen. You notice atmospheres shift. Sometimes you even feel the weight of unseen battles pressing on your spirit. Picture standing before a curtain. On one side, life looks ordinary, conversations, routines, visible events. But behind it, another reality is moving, shaping, influencing. Chosen ones can hear that curtain rustle. They feel when something presses through. That is the mark of the veil. Spiritually, this sign is both gift and responsibility. You discern what others cannot, but you also face warfare they never notice. Because when you sense the unseen, you also attract the unseen. Maybe you've met someone who smiled, yet something in you felt uneasy. Later you learned your spirit was right. Or maybe in prayer you felt peace so heavy it was almost tangible. That's the veil opening. Here's the practical side. Not every voice you sense is meant to be followed. Not every atmosphere is meant to be absorbed. You are a gatekeeper. You don't just notice what moves at the veil. You choose what is allowed through. That's why chosen ones must strengthen their spirit with prayer, meditation, and clarity. Think of a mirror. Most people see only their reflection, but sometimes you glimpse movement behind you. You turn, nothing's there. That almost seeing is the veil reminding you of what lies beyond. Maybe you've been afraid of this sensitivity. Maybe you tried to shut it down. But the veil isn't meant to terrify. It's meant to equip. Because when you sense the spiritual realm pressing close, you learn to walk with wisdom. While others stumble in darkness, you can feel the shift before it happens. You sense when peace draws near, when danger rises, when breakthrough is close. That is not paranoia, it's perception. And perception is a weapon chosen ones carry. Here's the deeper meaning. The veil doesn't only show unseen forces. It reminds you of your dual citizenship. You don't just belong to this world. You are a citizen of heaven, walking in human skin. That's why you've never felt fully at home here. Your spirit remembers the place beyond the veil. So when atmospheres shift, when dreams intensify, when silence grows heavy, don't run. Pause, listen, ask, what is heaven trying to reveal? Because often, what feels strange is actually an invitation. And here's the loop. If the veil shows you glimpses of another world, the final mark shows something greater. It doesn't just speak of visions or sensitivity. It seals your eternal destiny. Number 7. The final mark. This is the one most people overlook. It's the sign many chosen ones miss until it's almost too late, because when it appears, it doesn't just speak of your present life, it speaks of your eternity. Look at your hand one last time. To the world it may look ordinary, but to heaven it is a seal, not written in ink, not carved in stone, etched in the invisible language of spirit. This is the final mark, the seal of the chosen. You've felt it your whole life. That quiet pull telling you you're different. The inner whisper that you were made for more. The dreams, the visions, the moments you nearly gave up but somehow kept going. All of it pointed here. Spiritually, the final mark is confirmation of calling. It means you are not only walking through isolation, protection, direction, fire, prophecy, and the veil. You are sealed for destiny. And sealing means ownership. It means heaven has stamped its claim on you. Your life is not random, wasted, or disposable. It is marked for divine purpose. In ancient times, kings sealed letters with wax and their signet ring. The seal carried the king's authority, and breaking it was a crime. In the same way, the final mark is heaven's signet on you. It declares, "This one belongs to me," and no force of darkness can break what heaven has sealed. The final mark is not always visible to others, but it is undeniable in your spirit. That's why some are drawn to you while others feel threatened. It's not about you, it's about the seal. The unseen world recognizes it even when you don't. Maybe you've doubted if you're truly chosen. Maybe you've begged for a sign. This is it. The very fact that you are hearing this message is confirmation. You didn't stumble here by accident. You were guided. The sealed always find the signal calling them home. So what do you do with this mark? You embrace it. You stop running from your identity. You stop pretending to be ordinary when you were created extraordinary. You start living as if your life matters, because it does. But here's the warning. The final mark brings responsibility. Being chosen is not just privilege, it's purpose. Your battles may be tougher because your impact will be greater. The world may never understand you, but heaven always will. Picture a soldier receiving armor. The armor doesn't make the fight easier. It makes victory possible. That's what the final mark does. It doesn't erase your struggles. It equips you to overcome them. And maybe you think, but I'm not strong enough. I fail too often. I doubt too much. The seal is not proof of perfection. It's proof of heaven's claim. You weren't chosen because you were flawless. You were chosen because you were willing. And that willingness makes you unstoppable. The final mark is not only about sealing destiny, it's about awakening it. Every sign we explored builds to this one. Isolation prepared you. The shield protected you. The path guided you. The flame empowered you. The prophetic glimpses directed you. The veil awakened you. And now the seal confirms you. You are marked. You are chosen. You are sealed for eternity. But here's the loop. The final mark is not the end. It is the beginning. Because once you recognize and embrace it, your life will never be the same. And the journey that follows is even greater. You've just walked through 7 powerful marks. And if you've stayed with me until now, it's not by accident. This message found you because you carry the signs of the chosen. Think about it. All your life you've felt different. You've wrestled with isolation, survived battles that should have ended you, walked paths that made no sense, carried fire you couldn't explain, seen glimpses of the future, felt the veil pressing close. And finally, you've discovered the seal. The confirmation that you are not ordinary, not forgotten, not misplaced. You are chosen. Being chosen doesn't mean life will be easy. It means your life has weight. Every struggle has purpose. You were set apart to carry light where others cannot reach. So let me ask you, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you fade back into the crowd, pretending you never saw the signs? Or will you step forward, declaring, "I am marked, and I will live as one of the chosen"? Because when you live with awareness of your mark, everything changes. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You guard your energy. You align every decision with your purpose. Even storms look different because storms are not signs of destruction. They are proof your destiny carries weight. Pause and breathe this in. You didn't come this far to stop now. This is only the beginning. The marks on your life are not reminders of the past. They are blueprints for the future. Heaven has been shaping you for this very moment. Now the choice is yours. Will you answer the call? If this word spoke to your spirit, do 2 things. First, share it with another chosen one. You never know who else is carrying these marks silently, wondering if they are alone. Be the confirmation they need. Second, write this in the comments right now. I carry the mark. Declaring it is the first step to living it boldly. When you type it, you're not just engaging with a video, you're making a spiritual declaration over your own life. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, not only to help this message stay visible, but because every time you return, you step deeper into your identity as one of the chosen. This space was created for people like you, for those who feel the call but struggle to put it into words. Together, we are building a tribe of the marked. So take this seriously. Don't just click away and forget. Let these words echo inside you, because from this moment on, you will never look at your hands the same way again. The marks are there, the signs are real, and the seal is unbreakable. Stay watchful, stay awake, and when you're ready, click on the video that's appearing now. Because the journey doesn't end here, it's only beginning.